How's it going, everybody? Shady's on Broadway. Been a while. Finally got a chance to actually record a game and have enough energy here to try to compose myself and give you guys something, as far as entertaining content. But absolutely, we are jumping into an auto rank game in the first position. So let's do this settlement first, and then we can kind of have some chitty chats about what's been going on. So first position, we see this board is Jack with Or, which means that generally it's going to be a bit of a longer game, very flushed with wood, which kind of stresses the importance of the brick. Now, traditionally, I do believe 659 to be a really good starting pick as far as what we pair that with on the way back. Probably going to be looking at some form of wood expansion. 8-5-10 I also believe to be a pretty strong consistent pick, just because it's almost guaranteed to be a 3-1 on the way back. So I'm actually going to opt to take this first, and then I'll kind of explain the process there in a little bit. So what's been going on? So there's a lot of things I have to do. I have to first finish the video that I have in the pipeline, which is actually going to be regards to winning a tournament up in New York. And that's how we're going to be participating in 2024 U.S. Nationals next month. So life's kind of just moving real quick. Everything's moving along at a very good pace, I would say. And as a result of that, when we do participate in nationals, I'm going to have more footage, more things that I have to work on. But the journey of how we got there is in process. Editor's currently waiting on me to finish the script, finish the audio. So that's something that I have to do on my end, backside. I do have to also finish up with a lot of social media content as far as getting the posts out, letting you guys know, being more informative, more communicative, just being more consistent overall with the uploads. What I want to try to do is get one video out there that is professionally edited, created by my editor weekly, and then maybe like a video or two just of casual, like me talking, having some gameplay going for you guys. So that's kind of where I'm at as far as the Catan scene. There's also a lot of heavy involvement going on in the Dice Throne scene, which is my other primary passion, other primary project. I run a very active Discord group called the Freehawks, where we kind of utilize that as our board game space. Dice Throne is, I would say, as important to Catan, if not more important than Catan to me. So kind of juggling both of those, plus the work-life balance of things going on the medical side, things going on with work. So just, again, trying to find the balance of it all, right? Of course, I do have time to myself that I have been spending leisure activities like mobile gaming. Funnily enough, my third game in this instance would be Clash of Clans. I've been definitely putting an hour or two a day into that, just passively playing. But that's more of just like kill time, hobby-esque kind of game that I haven't played since high school, actually. So kind of fun getting back into that, of course. But of course, that's not what you guys are here for. You're here for Catan. You're here to watch me play. So of course, I'm going to give you guys that. But let's go ahead and look back at the board. So you might ask, why wouldn't you take 659? We already talked about the value of the wheat. You already talked about the value of the brick. I'm going to briefly say two reasons. Number one, we already established that the ore is terrible on this board, and I would actually argue that the wheat is really bad as well, because it's only on two numbers, being the 9 and the 10. And as a result of this means that cities and dev cards are going to be very hard to actually construct. Further emphasizing the importance of ports on this board. This board in particular, ports are going to be very important. The issue that I have with 659 is that I don't think that you get a strong wood spot on the way back in first position. And so expanding to the 9-10 is going to be pretty difficult, as well as the fact that I don't want to be porting wheat. Wheat is generally not a resource you want to be porting with. It's a resource you want to be porting for. Red, however, does get a very strong setup. I don't agree with Black's placement here at all, but it's okay, because with them placing there, Orange is going to be more than likely going 6-3-11, expanding to the 4-11, which does leave us the middle of the board here to work with. So I think we do have a manageable setup. We don't want to be racing Black for any particular spot. So as a result of that, I think traditionally you take 10-9-2 as opposed to 3-11-10, just to not contest this race at all. I mean, we can contest it, but that would be the spot they would be gunning for first and foremost. So that would probably be what I would do here, is 10-9-2. I mean, it overfloods our hand with wheat, but it allows us to get a road settlement spot that is significantly less contested than 10-9-2. Because the issue with that is if I go 10, 11, 3, drop it right, black almost always beats us there with double wood, double brick. So again, even though it's not good, I'm going to take that just to avoid that particular issue. But what that means, though, is that we're going to have to hustle like quite a bit because our starting production is really bad. We ideally want to push this road settlement as quickly as possible so that we make our own brick. So again, you always take 11, 3, 10 there. I just think the argument for me is that black will always beat me in this race if I don't, whereas red will have to prioritize the 4-11. So I do think that red has the strongest setup on the board, all 5 resources, 2 incredibly strong ports with the 3-1 and the wheat port. So it's just going to be about how we manage our resources, how we manage our hand most effectively. Now you'll notice that a lot of the numbers here are shared. We have 2 4s on wood, 9s and 10s again we talked about on wheat, and then sheep on 5s. So our trade value is not going to be great. We do have to identify the quickest way to establish value. And really our value currently is going to be in the wheat. So we're going to try to swing that as often as we can. Now, offers wood for brick. That doesn't presently help my hand. That's the problem, because we need the wood to go with the brick. So if I can do this, then I would have no problem pushing this for this. So you kind of see how we did that. We dumped a resource we didn't want for a resource that we did want, and then we kind of just pushed it in that direction. Now, I am going to go for the 3-1 first. I do value the production and the resource diversity of 3, 10, 11, but my issue is that I'm going to end up with a very clogged hand unless I get on a port as soon as possible. The decision between 8 and 5, I do believe that wood is going to hold a slightly higher value than sheep, considering we all make sheep on the 5. So that's just going to have to be something that I prioritize in this instance. So getting that settlement down. Getting that other brick, though, is going to be the challenge, as I see our spots being heavily contested. Now, as far as our game plan, we probably end up playing a road game, but dev cards can go to any player on this board just because of the lack of ore. It's not necessarily one's to take, one specific person to take. The main advantage, I would say, of our setup is if we are able to establish the 3, 10, 11, which at this point I'm not certain on. We do have the best chance at the longest road just in terms of the spacing, right? Because we can connect this way, and there's not really any other player that can connect outside of black. So that allows us to have a unique competitive advantage in that regard. So I am just going to start throwing out counters. I don't need wood in my present position, but I will take any other resource. They do offer 2-1. I'm actually just going to take it. I understand that's a much better trade for them than it is for me, but at this point what I'm trying to do is pace myself kind of behind everyone else. And I think I'm already doing that. I think I already did that with the starting settlement. But I am able to secure that trade. And now I'm going to try to see if I can get a sheep down on the board. Somebody might want an ore. This table is actually trading quite often, which I do like. So we're going to hold. Just have to wait on a sheep now. After that, of course, our next priority is going to be 3, 10, 11. I could have stressed the 3, 10, 11 earlier. The main concern, again, was that my hand would get completely clogged here. Like, the 10 is a great roll, don't get me wrong. But the 10... it can force us to 7 out if we don't have an actionable port to use it with. And that's why I particularly value the 3-1, especially in auto rank games, because of the flexibility that it provides. You're not necessarily able to communicate in the same way as you would with an in-person game. So I put immense value on the 3-1 ports. So we're just waiting on a 5 or a 10, and we can 4-1 settle. But of course, ideally, we'd rather roll into it. Yeah, nobody has sheep right now. 8s and 5s are kind of dry. Well, I take that back. 5 just rolled. So we do have the settlement in hand. I'm just going to grab that up, and we'll hold there. Now, the 5 and the 8 are going to be very big blocking targets for us for obvious reasons. For orange, of course, with their sheep port. I'm really hoping they don't hit the 8 wood, but they probably do. But it's the only dual share block that would make sense other than the 9. I just don't see myself as a current leader. It's just tricky for them because the only other block they can make is a solo. So even though I would consider myself in last, they do recognize black as a potential threat. So they just have to hit the 9 there. So I can respect it. And it's not like we really need the 9, right? We overproduce on wheat already. Thankfully, though, red rolls a 7 immediately and just hits orange in response, which I think is the correct play. Because orange is probably the most likely player to play ore, wheat, sheep here because they can road settle on the 10, double up on ore, wheat, and sheep. I mean, they produce brick that they don't need or want, but I don't think that really matters in long term. Because yes, red has a ton of flexibility, but if they lose this 3, 10, 11 to myself, their setup becomes a little bit more tricky. So they're offering the same deal. I'm just going to grab it. I mean, again, it's garbage wood, but I want black to defend our 9, I guess. I mean, the reason that I take that is not really good, I would say. But in our position, I do unfortunately have to recognize red as the threat. Because my current priority is getting this settlement, and red is the most likely candidate to contest that. But the 5 is also a triple shared block, so I can make that and feel justified in that sense that nobody should really feel like I'm specifically targeting them. Oh gosh, I was going to say, please don't have a row builder. If orange had row builder, I'd be very sad. We almost roll into a city there, though, with the 2. But yeah, a lot of 3s popping out, so there's a couple of brick and ores to spare. Yeah, 0 9s, yeah. I'm with you, brother. Game is being a little brutal. Let's see if I can trade into a settle here. Okay. I do want to know if I can get a sheep first before I take this. Because I don't want just the brick. How does blue get every trade that he wants? I'm just offering cards they need, man. Oh, because he isn't as scary as you. See, there's a certain trick to that, right? The way that we've paced our setup, it's kind of misleading. Because I would say in the beginning, it's definitely the weakest setup. But presently, like, if we get this settlement down, I think we're actually in a really good position. Now, definitely not as strong as orange, but we're no longer in last. I would say we're trending 3rd or 2nd after settlement on 3, 10, 11. Because the nice thing is when we get the settlement down, we're going to have ore, and then we're just waiting on a 10, right? And with that 10, we can city up. So, ooh, really hoping we don't roll a 7 here. Yeah, I think orange is the established threat on this board. And that much is pretty obvious to me, at least. But there you go. So we have 2 ore in our hand. Now that we have a port, we have our double settles, our next priority is going to be getting a city down. I don't feel like we need to buy dev cards. Orange is very much established. I'm just going to try to drop my hand size down. That's what I said. Oh, he wants a second card. Oh, that's greedy, dude. I don't feel like I need to do a second card here. I'd rather just hold. But yeah, orange is definitely leader because they can city. Like, they can city independently with the 11 and the 3. So despite the ore being bad, dropping the city there gives them that much value. Now, if we were to get our city, it's interesting because 8, 5, 10, I believe, is generally the correct place to put the city down, but you can make an argument for 3, 10, 11 because it doubles the wood brick. But yeah. Because orange already has 5 built points, they need to be hammered with the robber, which is great for us for pacing purposes. This is why, like, taking a very scary setup is kind of tough in their position, because unless you have knights to defend yourself, the table is just going to collude, right? Like in this particular instance, we don't really have anything else we can do. Fortunately, we're not catching any of our numbers, though, which is kind of strange. We have a lot of numbers. But black is going to fight me on road, which at that point, it's fine, because what we really do is we only need one more settlement here on the 5, and then we do double city. So that's how we get 7 points, and then closing out the other points is just going to be the tricky part. So I'm going to drop my city. It's tough because I recognize this is a vital role, but I'm going to do this. And the reason I think I have to is the 8 becomes a free card. Yeah. The 8 becomes a free card, especially when the 8 is being hammered on orange's side. And that actually puts us in a unique position, because if nobody's buying dev cards, we can actually double play with Army Road. So generally, I don't like buying devs with this setup, but I think it's going to be necessary. Like, oh my gosh, the amount of sheep that's been lost this orbit is crazy. That's freaking crazy to me. We made the correct decision, obviously. I'm going to try to first see if I can get value out of it, right? No sense importing it for no reason. But if nobody wants it, then we're just constructing it into a dev card, which is fine. Yeah, we pull knight, but that's okay. I'm going to drop the road there and hold. Oh yeah, and our 10 is now a monster roll as well, which is really nice. Orange is still getting points down, and now every 11 and 10, they're going to be getting a city. So this is going to be a big race. But I think double play is going to be what we have to do to close out this game. Because I can get 2 more devs with the wood if I don't 7. I port the 6 wood into 2 ore, because I think black is just going to take road here. Yeah, I think that's my play always. We just buy 2 more dev cards. Because I could get a city. Yeah, and then maybe I just start pacing it, to be honest. I think I just start pacing it. And he's going to get mad. He's a very loud person, so I'm just going to hit. Because I have to start pacing, brother. That's why. Yeah, they don't have to agree with it, but that's correct logic. In my opinion, it's correct. Of course. I mean, so the thing is, you don't want to have 3 dev cards. Like, I agree moving the robber is bad there, but in the unique position that I have to pace knights in order to progress, right? It kind of puts it in a scuffed position, because I might need to use the Year of Plenty for 2 devs here. Is that what I do? Or do I just get 2 naturally? Oh, that's so tough. I think that's tough. Because I can use this to take 2 ore. Which I think is correct, because we're 1 knight up. And then no, actually, I think that was a mistake. I think that was a mistake. Yeah, and now I probably just get robbed. I mean, I have 2 knights to defend myself now, but I think I should have just popped it naturally with my cards and held the yacht for a city. I don't think I necessarily have guaranteed win. Yeah, I think that was a mistake. I needed to use the second Year of Plenty on a second city on 3, 10, 11. So, I mean, they're going to give black road, which is fine. Because now we're already dedicated to army here. And we have the VP, so it's not crazy. But I'm just concerned because with 6 built points, they build one here. Yeah, and they're going to challenge my expansion, which makes sense because that makes my game a lot harder to win. They're not connecting, though. That's super greedy. That is super greedy. They're just going to settle with it. Oh, no. Yeah, they go for the cut. Now I have no expansion spots. I don't believe that for 1 second. Don't believe that for 1 second. This won't hurt me. Okay. Our game becomes much more challenging from here, I think. I mean, we can still get road. But then red's going to snipe up our last expansion spot. Yeah, jack of all trades, master of none. But yeah, not using that year of plenty on the city there is going to cost me. I don't see how I'm leader. I don't see this. I don't. I really don't. I'm not gonna talk. It's fine. Of course we 7 out. They just got triple pop off of that. I mean, what is my, I think I just dumped the wheat. Yeah, I literally can't do anything. I'll just drop a road there, I guess. Yep, there we go. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. Get out of here, Red. That's why not having the city there is a little scuff. But I didn't expect them to coordinate a plow that way. Interesting. I mean, see, Black gave up his game to get road to get this spot, but they don't ever city on their own. So they can also get road. But we have to keep hammering orange. So it's kind of just like a moot point. Oh, man. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how we close this out now, because we need a second city, or we need 2 cities, or we need a VP. Or we sneak road back. I think it's still the 8. Okay. So we now have mono, which means that we use the mono to get city. But I think orange just wins sooner than we do. Yeah, it's going to be a mono probably this turn. Because otherwise orange has potential here. I think they're already on VPs. Not enough wheat to distribute. That's so scuffed. Oh, that's so scuffed. Can we win with road? Can we win with road? Road is only 6. Oh yeah, that's so stupid. I just mono wheat and win. They didn't hold enough of a road length. I think, right? Isn't that just 2 roads? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Or am I stupid? Yeah. They should have extended. Reap what you sow, lads. Reap what you sow. I mean, he did have the VPs, to be fair. Yeah, look at the 6 roll, though, and the 10. Like, what? Yeah, I'll admit I got a lot of early game trades. But I don't know what happened here. They're like, we need to take the settlement spot. Well, like, no, you just needed to connect. Like, if you connect, I never get road. But they are right that I got good value with trades. Hey, man, no need for insults. This was a good game. I mean, the dice stats were pretty skewed, but another 69 turn game at that. Yeah, double play is always nice. I think that early decision with the Year of Plenty was a mistake. I should have popped using my cards naturally and then held the Year of Plenty to get the city on 3, 10, 11, because I think if they correctly extend road, my game is a lot tougher. I have to use the mono there. What did we end up with? I think we had enough wheat to get a city and maybe 1 dev card. So we did have chances to pull for the win. But we city with that, and then we pull a dev card, and we have to, our last only way to win at that point is to get another VP or to get another city, which is not easy. Anyway, I'm going to let them argue. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this one. I'm going to try to grab another quick one before I head out to work, and I'll check you guys out next time. See you later.